had good relations with Nepal. India still has good relations with Nepal.
Good evening, Honorable Minister, sir. So we had a very good relationship with Nepal, but right now, as we see, it is more influenced by China, and Nepal is backlashing India. So my question is, what are your thoughts on this, and how do you see India's position in the world in next 10 or 20 years? Thank you.
If I understood your question, you said we had very good ties with Nepal, but now you are suggesting they are not so good.
It is more influenced with China now. Military practices and political meetings.
Okay. See, you are all young people. My first advice to you is don't believe everything you read in the press. In fact, do heavy discounting. Because suppose the press guy writes a story. India had good relations with Nepal. India still has good relations with Nepal. Nobody will publish that story. So they have to write a story saying things are not going so well. So, right now, our relations with Nepal good. I'll give you 4-5 examples. I was in Nepal in January this year. Okay? I remember the first time I went to Nepal. This was in 2015. So we are talking 10 years. 10 years ago, Nepal used to get its petrol in trucks, truck by truck from India across the border. So they used to use petrol to get petrol because it was a most inefficient way of getting petrol. The cost of petrol also went up. There would be petrol shortages in that country. Today, there is a pipeline from a refinery in India which supplies petrol to Nepal. Whose refinery? Ours. Who built the pipeline? Us. One example. Example 2. My first memory of that visit, we had long power breakdown. Okay? Now, okay, we have power breakdowns in India also, but you all know that is less and less now. Sometimes you can go whole days, whole weeks, whole months without a power breakdown. Used to have regularly there. Today, power situation, very different. Why is it different? Because a grid was built from India to Nepal, carrying electricity from India to Nepal. In fact, it worked out so well, the same grid, Nepal is producing electricity and selling power to India and making money out of it. Now, if you travel by road, the roads have changed. The checkpoints have become much better. There is today a railway connection much deeper into Nepal than there has ever been. So, imagine if your power has changed, your petrol has changed, your rail has changed, your road has changed, your border checkpoints have changed, the amount of trade you do has changed. Why would anybody say relations have become more difficult? In fact, if you take all this, compare what Nepal does with India, with any neighbor or any country, why neighbor? Any country that Nepal, how much does Nepal trade with other countries, how much does Nepal trade with India? Do the comparison. Don't listen to me. Check it out. You will get a very different answer than your question suggests.